Emotions right now, knowing that David has a chance to get his best finish of the season?
I've seen David do this before, so he's a very good road course racer. Everybody can see that now, so I'm just going to sit back like everybody else and watch it.
All right. No doubt that there's a lot of pressure down here, though, Marty.
No pressure down here for Elliott Sadler's team. Rodney Childers looking on. Now, you guys have an excellent car today. Very few changes. Is it possible for him to get by the three in front of him?
I don't know. I think we've got a really strong car. The car's been good all weekend long. You know, we really haven't hardly changed anything since we unloaded off the truck on Friday. You know, thought we had a shot to pole Friday, barely missed that. And car's been good all day, getting good fuel mileage, and feel pretty good about it. You know, I don't know if these guys in front of us can make it or not, but we're in pretty good shape.
Where do you stand on fuel? Are you worried about a green, white, checkered?
I don't think so. I think we're in pretty good shape. The engine shop did an excellent job this weekend and got us pretty good mileage and should be good.
For this race team, this is a much needed, if it works out, top five, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this race team has done just a great job the past 2 months. I mean, we've qualified in the top 10 almost every week, had a shot to pole almost every week, and just had really good cars and got in bad spots, got in wrecks and had problems here and there. But everybody's done a really good job, and if we can pull this top five off, it'll be good for us.
We talked about Elliott needing just a little bit of racing luck. Looked like it's come to him today, Larry Mack.
Yeah, I'm up here with Larry, Marty, Mark Fine, and Larry McReynolds up here on our set high above pit row here. And Larry, you know, for a while there, things were stretching out. And then 3 cautions in the last 8 laps. We had Kyle Busch, who started 30th. We had Jeff Gordon, whose car was not very good all day. We got Gilliland, who has not been real competitive all season long. Now all of a sudden, these are the guys fighting for the win.
But yeah, we only had 3 cautions in the first 80 laps. And then here's what happened. The crew chief of the spotter keyed the radio and said, there's about 10 laps to go. You need to go. And that's what's happened here in about the last 7 or 8 laps. But yeah, when we look at so many of our guys that are running in the top 5, 6, or 7 right now, it's guys that started near the rear of the field. And I go back to what we were talking about a while ago. I think the key was so many of these cars pitted before that first caution, and that got them the track position that they needed, especially like David Gilliland. Now, Cully Barraclaw, he better hope this thing doesn't go a long way because he's got the least amount of fuel of anybody. He was looking to try to run 44 laps, so he needs this thing to get restarted and not go too far into overtime.
Here's my question for you, is what has happened this year because of what happened last year? In other words, we only had one time last year when a car outside of the top 13 won this race. What did all these teams learn something last year and that made the difference, or is it just a fluke?
Yeah, they learned they needed to work on fuel mileage. Mark, it's amazing what I have seen and learned in that garage area over the last 2 days. What teams have worked on to be able to run as many laps as they possibly could on fuel. One team told me they had spent almost $250,000 just working on better fuel mileage for this race. And what we're starting to see, you know, last year 42 laps was a stretch. Now we're sitting there with Cully Barraclaw says 44 laps, no problem. We're going to have an extra to spare. I just think the fact of knowing how to run this race and gaining fuel mileage is what has made a difference.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. It's been wild. 3 cautions in the last 8 laps, as Larry Mack said. Kyle Busch in the lead, but the cars are stopped. We'll wait for him to get back going. Keep it here. Should be a wild finish.
Just some of the many wild moments that we expected to see this afternoon here at Infineon Raceway in Sonoma, California. Under the red flag with 4 laps to go. After what was a fairly caution-free event. But the closer you get to the finish, the more fun you have. There you see Kevin Harvick in that 29 car involved in that caution. Here's Tony going around. And the field going by. But they have worked on that 29 car. Kevin is on the track. He is currently scored in the 31st spot. By him coming back out and picking up a position, he has bumped Matt Kenseth out of the top 12 in points. Harvick currently 12th in the championship standings, but Matt in the 17 car is just 3 points behind.
But just like we said, those guys have to come in and get their stuff together. Tony's out there, even though he spun, he's racing for 3 points.
Right.
3 points, because that's 3 points outside. So if you get to the last race, you get to that Richmond, they're going to be interviewing you in the garage area because you're 3 points out, not over on the stage where the guys are headed to the chase.
And it may not be, you know, the points at Richmond that night. It's the points you lost here or Pocono or...
It never is. People make such a big deal out of going to Richmond. It's like, oh, man, you just barely missed it. If you'd have had a better Richmond. No, no, no. If I'd have had 2 places better at Darlington or 1 place better at Charlotte or 2 places better here, it adds up. And that's what points are all about. You know, you can't blame it on one guy. You know, it's always amazing to me. You miss a race and somebody says, well, that guy bumped you out. No, it wasn't. It was those other 43 guys that were faster than me. They bumped me out. I mean, it wasn't the last guy that went that bumped me out. It was the other guys. We just weren't prepared, and I think that's the big deal. These guys, you know, they're trying to get as much as they can everywhere you go.
See the field starting to roll. Coming up next on TNT, as soon as we're done here, the longest yard on the East Coast, and out here, Spider-Man. That's next on TNT after the Toyota SafeMart 350. And you'll want to stick around for these last few laps. NASCAR making one attempt at a green-white checkered. Again, if the caution comes out after we restart, the race is over. And NASCAR will use the scoring loops around the track and videotape to sort out the finish order.
And, you know, I'm going to be this is a beautiful place from the air when you look at it. And I've said this 10 million times before. I hate red flags. I hate for a race to go and then stop. But this makes the race better for the fans.
Exactly
for the people sitting at home, for the people sitting in the grandstands here. Not necessarily for the teams. You know, as we interview teams, you talk about strategy, you talk about things like that. You don't like to see them stop. You like to see your driver stay in that rhythm of downshifting and grabbing gears and doing the things he's doing here. But for the fans, and that's what this is. These races are all about the fans. We look at it as a sport, but it's entertainment.
But the thing about it is, from why they went the red flag, Pruitt dumped all that oil down.
Tons of oil.
And usually, if you stay under green, it takes 3 or 4 or maybe even more laps to get all that speedy dry off. And I think what they wanted to do is get the speedy dry off as quick as they could. And these next couple laps, normally when we're out there, we don't want to get in the speedy dry.
No.
We want somebody else to clean it.
No.
But all these guys are going to be trying to clean it off, because even if NASCAR cleans it off, it's still there. But you know, you can't run on it when it's laying on the racetrack. So they did a good job blowing it off and trying to get as much off and the track dry as possible.
If they had made the drivers ride around and clean the racetrack,
we'd still be waiting.
2/3 of them would run out of gas. So that would totally change the complexion of the race.
Field is moving through turns 11 and 12. They will go across the start-finish line, and they will get the green flag next time by. Again, it'll be a green-white checkered finish, our 5th of the season. Kyle Busch is the race leader. He started 30th. He has led 73 of the 108 laps so far. David Gilliland looking for his first Sprint Cup Series win. Started 31st, he runs 2nd. Then Jeff Gordon is 3rd, Elliott Sadler 4th, Clint Boyer 5th. Check with Marty.
Guys, I don't know if we can see the right front of Elliott Sadler's tire. It's behind the wall there, but he said it's going flat. He had someone pull up beside him. He thinks it's going flat. And, actually, it's the right rear tire that's going flat. That's what it looks like from our view.
Yeah,
the right rear going flat.
Definitely.
And Elliott, poor guy. All he wants is his first top 5 of the year. He said he's going to try and just restart just to see how it goes, but it's going to be tough to hang up there.
Let me tell you, buddy, it's going to be more than tough. It's going to be impossible, especially if you're in the tire barrier.
Let me tell you something. That's exactly right. When he gets on the gas back here, he's going to be lucky to get it going straight. Yeah. Okay? Then when he gets down here to turn 1, it's not going to turn. It's just going to turn around, because on that right rear. Yeah, when he loads that right rear, it's going to be ugly.
Right behind him is Clint Boyer, who is looking to end a streak of 4 finishes of 25th or worse.
Then Clint better give that 19 plenty of room.
I'd be pulling up there going, hey, you got a flat.
You got a flat. Give me some room. Tell me which way you're going to spin so I know which way to go.
Well, if he makes it past the start-finish line, I guarantee you he's going to spin to the right on the first left-hander.
But you feel sorry for Elliott, because I said it, and I was corrected by Marty. I will say this: he's had some great runs out here. I just personally don't think of Elliott Sadler as one of the better road racers. He's not a guy that pops to mind when you say road racing. But obviously he's had some great runs out here in the past, and you hate to see anybody's run in because of something like this.
And when you put a guy like Elliott Sadler